Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality and all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button now. Hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I post a new video or go live like now. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. So, hello Michael, nice to see you. So I was here earlier in the early hours of today. So this is a second live stream for me today, saying that my plenty of fish, or was that yesterday? I think that was today. My plenty of fish. Oh, hi Andy, nice to see you. That my plenty of fish account had been deleted. And I seriously think it must have been because I said, that I don't want sex in a relationship, and I put that looking for my super romantic soulmate with sex and relationship, and I put that looking for my super romantic soulmate without sex in the title, and I also put it in private messages. But the only thing that doesn't make sense is why didn't they delete it sooner, because I had that in my profile for several days. But I did, unless it was one of the emails I sent happened to have that me saying that before, as a first message, and I hadn't said it as a first message before, but I usually say it as a first message. So, but unless it's because other guys spoke to me first, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, what is anxiety? What is dating anxiety versus relationship anxiety? Well, yeah, the title implies that they're both different, but to be quite honest, majority of the time they're the same feeling. So, dating anxiety is when you're going to meet up with someone for a potential date, as in, you might potentially end up in a relationship together with them. You might end up, you might not necessarily end up in a relationship with them straight away, but the potential for that's there. Or you may end up like in a kissing situation with them, in an intimate situation without actually ending up in a relationship. You're dating them, so it's kind of like relationship type of stuff, but you don't know what's going to happen. So, what is relationship anxiety? Now, relationship anxiety is twofold. Relationship anxiety can be that you're anxious about getting into a relationship with someone. So this is a potential relationship you're anxious about. Say someone really likes you, you really like them, but you're worried, you're anxious about it, you're nervous. Or it could be that you really, really like someone and you're not sure how they think and feel about you. So it's all before you get, before you getting into a relationship. And relationship anxiety can also be the second way, where you're in a relationship and you're anxious all the time. Things are difficult, or maybe you've been single for a long time, you'll find it hard to cope in a relationship. You're worried about things. If you have anxiety anyway, you might be worried about, like talking to them about something, going somewhere with them, sharing intimacy for the first time. Even little things like holding hands and kisses. If some asexuals have never done that before, so that might be quite anxiety inducing. Or even, like if you're further advanced in relationships, you have relationships before, but you've got anxiety. Maybe you've got past hang-ups or problems and issues that cropped up in past relationships, and you're worried that it's going to be repeated. Now, all these types of anxieties, whether it's dating anxiety or relationship anxiety, they do take a toll on your body. And you can feel it. It kind of puts your, like, either your stomach in knots or your pelvic area in knots. And if you've ever had a thing called irritable bowel syndrome, or you have actually suffered anxiety at some point, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. Like, your body feels like it's in a perpetual state of terror in the worst case scenario. And if you have been following my channel, you probably know that I'm seeing a guy tomorrow who's not asexual. At the moment, my pelvis is in like literally a perpetual state of anxiety. Now, I was feeling, like I've been feeling it, I think, since I saw him, and I wasn't really conscious of what it was. I kept thinking, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with what I've eaten and stuff like that? But then I realized, oh my goodness me, it's the anxiety of seeing someone, even though, like, he hasn't said it's a date, I've not said it's a date. And I've said to him that, I can only see him as a friend. I've said that sex is not going to be involved, and he's fine with that. I've never experienced this dating anxiety and relationship anxiety. I know, Michael, you're very lucky. I have to say that's one good thing about being an aromantic who doesn't want a relationship. You don't have to go through all this rubbish, I tell you, because it is really hard. I mean, I'm in so much pain right now. And I thought, shall I keep this pain to myself? And I thought, no, I'll share it because I'm sure I'm not the only one who experiences this. And I want you to know that if you are going through this or you do go through it, that you're not alone, you know? And it does really hurt and it's hard. I mean, today I thought it would help because I've been watching videos on how to get the best out of first date. Now, that can be good if it's actually called a date in a way. That can be great because you're preparing yourself, which, you know, with anxiety, you kind of, some people with anxiety want to prepare themselves. They want to make sure they've got all their sort of cards on the table. They know what to do in different situations. Well, that's sort of where I come from. Some people with anxiety, they don't like to think about anything, just jump in. Other people like to prepare for it. I'm kind of a preparer, you know. I'm like, oh, if this happens, that happens, what do I do then? And it's good to prepare a bit because you've got to remember your own safety. You've got to remember, obviously, to meet them in a public place, which I'm doing. Places that are lit, which I'm doing. Having spoken to them on Skype or in person before, I've spoken to this person in person before. You know, and you know, there's certain things, you know, like, are you familiar with the places you're going to? Yes, because I chose them. You know, I gave them an option of 3 places to eat, which I go to each of them, and the place I chose. So I know where the escape routes are. I know how to get out of there. I know people that, you know, the security guards on the club. Oh, I not know them personally, but I know there's ones there. I know that where we eat is a popular restaurant that I always go to. So I've even got a friend who works there. So, but this guy hasn't given off any bad signals to me whatsoever. I didn't pick up any bad vibes from him. I have to say that throughout the entire time that I met him the other day. There's nothing wrong about him. There's no badness about him. I didn't feel any sort of inclination that he was going to do anything bad to me. And so that's a good thing. But obviously, because I'm not used to dating sexuals anymore, and this is why I never usually do it, I kind of like, it's hard for me. However, I did actually see a sexual, if you remember, because a few months ago, and he wasn't a good guy in the end, but I did see him, but I was okay about seeing him. It's really weird. But I think this is different because this guy I actually like more than a friend. And I'm thinking he did too, by the way he approached me, by the way we were very romantic together straight away. What I mean by that is we were talking, but he was holding one of my hands in front of each other. He was holding my hand. You don't do that usually with strangers unless you really like them, obviously. And you know, and he was actually complimenting me on my singing voice. I mean, I don't have a good singing voice. For a guy to compliment you on a singing voice that isn't very good, because he goes, oh, you've a nice voice. I'm like, well, what, singing? Because I'm no good at singing or voice. He goes, oh, both, but yeah, singing and your own voice. So he said the singing first. I'm like, oh, because I was singing a bit when I was dancing with him, but I'm like, I'm not a very good singer, but I'm good at dancing but not singing. So I was like, okay, that's really nice, thank you. But, you know, he did ask me if I was single as well, but he's only in this country for 6 more months. But the thing is going through my mind is I'm thinking, oh, is it any possibility that if we did get on really well, romantic-wise, that he would stay in this country? I think it's highly unlikely and probably impossible for him by the sounds of it, because he's got 3 businesses and he's over here to learn English, to then go to Germany and China to deal in, you know, like get some stock for his shops. He owns 3 sports shops. But because he's like business minded, he's really smartly dressed and everything, he's a different caliber of guy that I usually go for, which is good for me. And but I don't know what he's like clubbing, because obviously he was probably wearing different clothes to what he might do clubbing. So I don't know what he's like when he goes dancing. I don't know. So obviously dancing's more intimate if you want it to be, but you can still have bodies separate as well. You don't have to be dancing together. So kind of like yeah, I was watching dating stuff today, and it's kind of hard because I've just said it's a friend and stuff, but blatantly it's really a date in a way, because obviously he's single, I'm single, he likes me, I like him, and it's kind of like, well, really, it's a date. And you can try in these situations to try and change your mind around and just think, no, it's 2 people meeting, and you know, hopefully we'll get on well together. It's just 2 people having fun, enjoy it, relax. But if you've ever experienced high levels of anxiety, sometimes you'll notice that even when you say to a person with anxiety, relax, it doesn't really relax them at all. It can make things worse. So, you know, all you can do is try your best, you know, like take your mind off things, distract yourself, make sure you've got all your the stuff prepared, like I said, be in familiar surroundings. Make sure you've got get out clause. So if things don't go well, I have to remember that if there's something goes wrong with the food, and he's not being nice to me, I have to remember I can leave that situation. I don't have to go dancing with him. That's what I've got to remember. And, and if I do, even if I do get dancing with him, if I don't want to see him again, I don't have to see him again. It's completely my choice. And I think you have to remember that you've got the power of choice, and you have to really remember that you can look after yourself. I'm very good at looking after myself. I've looked after myself for years. I've lived on my own for years, and I've looked after myself for years and paid for myself for years. I can look after myself. I'm a very strong person. But you have to kind of remember that. You have to remind yourself of that all the time, because it's easy when you're in situations where you feel more vulnerable to feel like less powerful and strong than you usually would. And you kind of just have to really remember and really get into yourself and think, keep saying to yourself, I'm safe. I can protect myself. I'm fine. I'm okay, I mean, there's no real reason why anything can go wrong in much ways, because I've got them, I'm taking the money for a taxi. Can I get a taxi home so you won't be coming home with me, obviously? And, everything's good. There's not really anything to worry about. But it's because I like him more than a friend as well. And I kind of think, oh, he's foreign. He's into business. He's really my type in some ways. But the truth is, when you've just met a person, you don't actually know if they're your type. I mean, I might be having the meal with him. Halfway through, I might think, oh, there's something I really don't like about this guy, or I don't like his mannerisms, or I don't like his thinking, or do you know what I mean? We tend to put these people we like, we tend to put them on a pedestal, and we tend to, when we meet someone, especially if we seem compatible with just the little things they say, we tend to put them on this huge pedestal, like, oh, they're amazing. Oh, wouldn't it be great? This, that, and the other. And if you're a romantic person, which obviously, Michael, you're not, so you probably don't ever have this, because if you're a romantic person, you sort of think, what if this? What if that? Or what if he got to, so, what if he did fall in love with me and he stayed here in this country or came back for me? What if things went amazingly well? But I mean, but the other scenarios, what I really think is, which I suppose is really worrying as well, is that I think, well, okay, say we become really, really good friends, and then obviously he's going to go back to his country in 6 months. So I'm going to be really upset, even from a friendship point of view, because I get really attached to my close friends, the people that I really care about. I get really attached to them, because I care about what happens to them, and I like to be in regular contact. And he wouldn't add me on Facebook because he said he doesn't use it, and he said about WhatsApp and Snapchat, but I'm not in either of those. And it was like, well, the phone's the only option then, isn't it, really? And that really put me at a disadvantage in the sense that if I did want to, well, it's not really a disadvantage because it's his loss if he don't want to keep in contact with me after 6 months. But the thing is a kind of like, I think if someone really likes someone, then it doesn't matter what country they're in, they'll still keep in touch. Do you know what I mean? So that was a little bit of a disappointment for me. And I suppose I can look at that as a positive, that, this guy wouldn't be a right guy for you, Sandra, because you have this thing where you like people to connect with you on Facebook, because that's one way that I communicate all the time, like on Facebook Messenger. I use that loads, and the video chat on there, especially if someone's abroad. So it's kind of like, if that communication stream's cut off from a person that I really like, it's not good for me. It's like as a person, as a personal thing, I kind of don't like that. I kind of think, well, if you really valued me, you'd want to keep in touch with me. And I don't go on WhatsApp because, do you know something? Every time a guy asks me if I'm on WhatsApp, they're a sexual person usually. Honestly, it drives me mad. I know. As soon as someone's, hi, how are you? They've just met me. What's your WhatsApp? I mean, this guy didn't do that. We were talking about meeting up, and so we had to arrange it. So I said, well, you can add me on Facebook to arrange it rather than giving me my phone number. I was going to arrange it that way, but I gave him my phone number in the end, which I don't really mind because I use it for business anyway. But do you know what I mean? Whenever someone says, first messages, oh, hi, what's your WhatsApp? I know it's pretty much, hi, can I have sex with you? That's what it basically means, I know that sounds so bad and very, well, it doesn't sound, I don't know if anyone's done a stereotype of that, but, that is exactly what happens, every time someone's like, what's your WhatsApp? I think, thank the Lord I'm not on WhatsApp. I do enough social media as it is, I'm on this channel. I've actually got 2 other channels, one that I also, one is my writing channel, well, my writing and quirky channel, but I don't, I'm not on there that much. This is the only channel that I'm constantly on all the time, because I just want to do videos to help you guys out all the time. And now I'm not, now I've obviously at the moment, I'm not on Plenty of Fish. And, people in my Facebook groups are saying, because they've seen my videos, are saying, oh, I'm on Plenty of Fish now and I'm trying this, that, and the other. And I don't know if they're trying it because I've tried it or because they were already doing it in the first place and feel they can talk about it now. Because, it's, sometimes it's a bit like, oh, well, why are you going on sexual dating sites? And I was very much like that. I've been like that for like, what's the point? And I'm off that sexual site again. But I don't know if I'll go back on it because the good thing about it is, it made me feel like I had access to a lot more foreign guys in the UK, But again, predominantly they're going to be sexual, so that's no good for me. But it's kind of like, it's nice for me to just talk to more foreign guys, do you know what I mean? Even if I just get some friends, but then obviously the anxiety is going to be even worse. So, all I wanted to do is let you know really what the anxiety is, and the things you can do about it is literally try and just calm yourself down, think about all the things you've put in place to protect yourself, to stay safe. Think about you, but you are in control. You can do breathing exercises if you feel panicky. You can do, some people do meditation or yoga. And something I haven't spoke to you about as well is, like I've talked to you about the dating anxiety. Well, there was a guy who's asexual and we video chatted for the first time yesterday, this morning, it was throughout this night. And we were like video chatting for over 3 hours. And this person likes me more than a friend and I like them more than a friend. They are asexual, but they're in another country. And it was like quite an emotionally intimate time with that person. And kind of like, I didn't know how much they liked me. They liked me more than I thought they did. But they still like another person in their own country anyway. So, whilst their mind is on that other person, it's, I've told them if you want to just, be with the person you really want to be with, which as far as I know is a person in their country. But they seem to be liking me like almost the same as that person that's in their country. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, it gave me a bit of anxiety because I was thinking like, okay, because he was actually talking about if things don't work out in the USA, about him coming over here to the UK. And I'm like, oh, you're getting serious now. And he started talking about all sorts of stuff like in the future with me. And I was like getting a bit like, oh. And we seem to be like highly compatible in lots of ways. And it was my idea to video chat spontaneously. I don't usually do it. And I'm like, oh, well, because we've talked about it a little bit before. I was talking about video chat. I said, oh, I think I should just spontaneously video chat with you. Because I wanted to know if this person, when I video chat with them, if we would get on in person or not. Because we've been friends for a long time online now, well, quite a few months. And I know that he likes me more than a friend, but I didn't know just how much more he liked me. But yeah, I'm not sure he's right for me anyway. But like today I had that playing on my mind, like, what if I was with him? But then I'm thinking, well, he obviously doesn't value my worth enough at the moment. If he thinks another girl in his country is the one for him, then my worth is not as valuable as that person's worth to him. So therefore, it's not good for me to pursue anything down that line anyway. Because I value my worth. I need a guy who makes me his first choice, not to be second choice. I know that he should, I've told him before to find someone in his country. I actually told him that a long time ago. So I do support him and we support each other's friends and we talk about, oh, hi Heather, nice to see you, thanks for tuning in, nice of you to say hello. So we support each other. Actually, it's the person I'm talking about is a person I said a little while ago who's a romantic friend, which I don't usually have romantic friends. So I said I'm romantic with him, but not usually with my friends. But for him, for some reason, I am. But yeah, this is the same guy I'm talking about. So yeah, we video chatted, and it was very emotionally intimate. Like it was like we were looking into each other's hearts. It was very, very soulful connection. And I guess that's the thing that's different with asexuals, asexual to asexual. I think the love or feelings or emotions, they're so much more intimate emotionally wise. That's how we love, really. Asexuals love through an emotional connection, first and foremost, before anything else, in my experience. And to be honest, I really do want to be in a relationship with an asexual younger foreign guy. I just know that's the right thing for me to be in. because I just can feel the relationship love. Like like last year I did date. Well, I was technically in an online relationship. It was going to be offline, but this person I only got to know online. I was in like a asexual relationship for a month, but I don't really think much of it as a relationship because the guy wasn't very good, and I never actually met him in the end. But he was in this country. But yeah, it didn't go well at all. He turned out not to be a nice person. So, and I'm not even sure he was asexual in the end. I'm not even sure where I'm going with this. I had a point to make, but I think because I don't like the person and what they did, then I kind of like my mind's gone blank again. Because sometimes, when someone's not really nice to you, you kind of blank them out. My mind's gone completely blank now. But yeah, I was kind of, oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, because I thought that person in that month did love me, I could kind of feel how asexual love's different to heterosexual to asexual love. Like heterosexual to asexual love, like the heterosexual obviously is giving off sexual energy. Like people don't really understand what sexual attraction is. I know it's like a energy. It's a sexual energy they give off, and you can feel it. It's a bit like a furnace, I guess. And yeah, it's kind of like a tension and you can feel their essence in a sexual way. Whereas with asexuals, and also I think I know it's going to sound really rude or bad to heterosexuals. I'm talking about heterosexuals, but also obviously sexuals as a general rule. But I've only got experience with heterosexuals because I'm heteromantic, not, I'm just into guys. With heterosexual love, it tends to be, I think, more superficial. Like, I've never ever had a really deep soulmate connection like I thought I had. Like, with my last long-term ex of 8.5 years, when I was just friends with him, I thought I'd met my soulmate, and I did think that in the beginning when I was just friends with him before I got with him. But kind of like looking back on it now, I don't think it was, because I didn't feel that deep connection. Like, I have felt more deep connection with my asexual friends than my really close friends than I have in the past when I was loving someone or in friendship with someone that I later was in a love relationship with. So that, that to me means that asexual love takes things to a whole nother level. Like, I'm able to emotionally connect with people like from all walks of life now, which I think is partly to do with me because I've changed the way I am. I understand people better. I can be more open and vulnerable and honest with people, and that allows them to be that way with me. If you want people to be open up to you, you have to be open to them. And that means putting yourself in vulnerable positions, open for attack and criticism. It means that not everyone's going to agree with you, but I am very strong. I'm not here for validation. I know I'm asexual, and not everyone may believe things I say or agree with what I say, and that's fine. That's their opinion. But I don't need the validation. One thing I definitely know for sure is that I was born asexual and didn't realise it. I know that, and my parents are really good as well. They're very supportive. I'm very, very lucky in that way. As soon as I found out I was asexual, the second time I talked to them about it, they said, it sounds like you. And they understand me so much better now. And my mum's always known that I've been nudity repulsed for like ever and a day. She thought like it was an insecurity. And I said, and now she knows that, some asexuals, they are naked repulsed. We just hate it. Not very many people are naked repulsed, but I'm naked repulsed and I can't stand it. I've been like that since a kid. There's evidence as well since I've been 6 years old that I was asexual as well. And even nudity repulsed since being on potty days. I can remember being on my potty and being consciously aware that my mum was seeing me go on the potty and I was naked. That was a really weird experience, and I can remember that going back to that childhood memory, and that is very odd. Most people can't remember stuff like that. But I was like, it's like I came into my own body and realised that I was alive, a human that could think for myself. And obviously that must have been a really, really young age when I'm still on my potty, like, I don't know, 1.5 or something. I have no idea. I'm not into babies, but yeah, so it's kind of like really strange, and I've diverted a lot on this video, haven't I? But when we have a lot of past hang-ups and relationship issues and stuff, I think that makes it difficult to date and have relationships. And I do have relationship anxiety, I have relationship anxiety where if a guy's really starting to get seriously interested in relationship with me, my body like shuts down and goes into protection mode, which I know is there, for good reasons, And I think if I meet the right asexual guy, then, hopefully I won't have this anxiety like I've got now. But hopefully it'll probably be someone I know and trust and I've known for a very, 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 very long time. And I'm really comfortable around them, I think. I think that's the only way of being. The thing is, there's no guarantees of anything in life. And when you have anxiety, you kind of need guarantees to a certain extent. You need to guarantee that, oh, you're going to be fine, you're going to be safe, you're going to be happy, you're not going to cry, you're not going to get upset. But, like, I know I get attached to people as well. So I know that if, this guy I see tomorrow, if I get on really well with him, which I intend to do, I'm going to go in with a positive mindset, then I know 6 months down the line I could be very upset in tears and everything like that, or even sooner than that. And I kind of have to accept that, some people are going to come in my life and they're not always going to be there forever and a day. They're going to come in for a short time and go again. But, the one or ones that are meant to be here in my life will stay. And I think that's what you've got to remember as well, that the people who love and care about you, whether that's in a friendship way or a romantic sense, will, be there for you forever, pretty much, as long as they can be. I know sometimes the relationships or friendships, they do dissolve after years, and that's even more sad. I knew I had a best friend going back years ago, and she doesn't speak to me now. And I knew her when I was at school, but not at school. She was like a neighbour nearly. So not next door, but the one after. So that's always tough, So we've just got to remain really super strong. But I just wanted to share this with you. It's a while since we've caught up, like it's not even been 24 hours yet, but I kind of like to share my journey with you if you find it helpful. I've got huge anxiety at the moment. Talking about it kind of helps in a way. I don't think it helps the pain as such, but it kind of like helps me to work through things. And I'm just trying to help you, I want you to know that you're not alone, that if you're going through all this dating and relationship stuff, that it is very difficult, and I do appreciate it. But I think I'd still be anxious even if it was an asexual I was meeting as well, but not as anxious. Like, I don't get anxious of asexual meetups that I'm organising. Probably because I'm an organiser, it helps more than if I'm meeting some people I don't know and I'm not the organiser. It really helps. I'm not anxious about that. I don't get anxious about meeting, like, but maybe it's just because that none of the guys that have come I've been attracted to, if you know what I mean, and wanted a relationship with. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because all the guys are just my friends, I don't know. Maybe if a guy came who I found, but that's not true actually. There has been 2 guys that I was attracted to that came. Yeah, in the past there has been 2, but I think maybe I wasn't actually. So yeah, that's not kind of true, is it? I think I was thinking maybe not. I was not actually seriously thinking about relationship with them. And I knew that they probably didn't like me that way. See, that's the thing with me. I get anxiety if the person reciprocates, and that's kind of silly because you kind of like, if you want a relationship, you need the person to reciprocate their feelings because you can't have one else. Do you know what I mean? But when I do get people that reciprocate or really seem really interested, then I'm like really panicking and worrying, thinking, oh my goodness me, I'm not sure. I think I would just want to be single forever. And kind of like, I want to run out the door. But it is a protection mechanism because I've had a lot of abuse in the past in lots of different ways. And so your body, is protecting you, and you have to bless your body. You also have to say to yourself, thank you so much for the blessings of anxiety as well, because you have to know that it does help you to protect yourself, make you be more cautious. And usually if you're anxious, it is for some reason, it's not because you're paranoid. It's not because, there's something wrong with you. Obviously there's something wrong in the sense that you've got anxiety, but there's nothing actually wrong with you. Having anxiety is a perfectly natural thing. And what I'm doing tomorrow, is very brave. I'm seeing a guy, going for a meal and dancing with him when I've only met him once before. That is a brave thing to do. And when you're trying to push through your fears and boundaries and try new things, you're going to have issues crop up that make you feel anxious, nervous, and that's going to reflect in your body, Only thing with me is if I'm, like, I can end up being in this perpetual state of pain for like, which seems never ending unless I put an end to the thing I'm doing. So that kind of means, like, with this guy, if I don't stop feeling anxious, I kind of would have to stop seeing him, even as a friend. That's not good to be in that state. But it's something that I haven't quite mastered yet. I'm a work in progress. I'm trying to help myself. The only way really I think I'm going to stop this fear is by continually trying to practice doing the thing that I'm fearful of, because that's technically how we smash through our fears. We face them head on, and we do the thing that we're fearful of, so that when we become so used to the thing we're fearful of, we're no longer fearful of it anymore. If you know what I mean. It's like a person who's afraid of heights. There was this customer who used to come into my work. He used to work in a big department store, and he was scared of heights, and he used to come and see me regularly, like, well, I say regularly, every so often, a few weeks or whatever it was, on my department. And he literally, the building I worked in was a 7-story building, right, with escalators and lifts. And I kept seeing him, and he said that I'm trying to get over my fear of heights. And so what his therapist has told him to do is to go on, go in the building, and he's got to go up the stairs and then back down again, and he has to like keep going up more and more stairs, as so you start off like with a 2 stories and then go down, then you go 3 stories high, and do you know what I mean? So you start off little by little and build up, and then you keep doing it repetitively so that you're not scared of it anymore. But this guy was weird. I don't think he was scared of a plane from what I remember, but he was scared of heights and stuff in buildings and things, which I thought was even more weird. But yeah, so it is hard to push through fears and boundaries. I think some people do it and some people don't, and I think you've not got to totally beat yourself up if you don't. But obviously this is going to be an issue for me if I don't get it fixed. But I have to allow myself the time to think, well, I think any person, especially if they're asexual, would be very anxious in my position as a sex repulsed asexual who's going out with meeting up with a person who they don't know. I think that's quite a daunting prospect. And I think we have to give ourselves some self-love and some self-talk to say, it's okay. It's fine the way you feel. It's perfectly normal and natural. Don't, it's okay for you to feel that way. But try and do something that makes you feel happy. I mean, I'm like, usually I'm up busy doing my stuff. I've been promoting, putting my t-shirts out in my groups, because I've spent all those hours creating the t-shirts, and no one in my group really saw many t-shirts until yesterday, so I've been putting them in my group and setting all that up today. But I've just got so much pain, it's been hard to even finish that. But I'm just like thinking now I've even got to go to sleep or just chill out and watch a movie or something, so that I'm not so focused on my pain. Because the thing is when you get horrendous pain, if it's always on your mind, it just creates more pain. And I think I've just got to take it easy and just remind myself literally of all the positives that are going to happen tomorrow, of the fact that I'm hopefully going to get a great friend out of it. And I don't think this guy's anything bad. I'm very good with energy, and I don't think he's got any bad energy about him. I didn't see any bad energy from his face, his mannerisms, the way he dresses, what he was talking to me about. I didn't see nothing. I just saw sweet person who's business minded and focused, who's got his own mind, and who's not looking for sex, which means it's a good thing. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I hope this video has been useful, helpful, insightful. If it has, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it, because it helps raise awareness of asexuality. It also helps raise awareness of anxiety, which is still a bit of a taboo subject, isn't it? Sometimes we see people's lives and it all seems a bit perfect. Some people's lives, not all people's lives. And I think depression is talked about more these days, but I think probably less anxiety is talked about. And when I go to asexual meetups, I organise them. Thanks for the thumbs up. Any thumbs up is appreciated. When I hold my asexual meetups, most of us there have either had anxiety in our life or have it, or I have got rid of a lot of anxiety in my life, which I've done really well on, but I still have relationship anxiety. Anything to do with relationships is my highest form of anxiety at all. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's really nice of you. It really helps. Thanks for your support. So relationship anxiety is like the one thing I really, really, really need to conquer, because it's the only thing that really stops me moving forward. And I think it does make you a bit blind sometimes as well to thanks, Andy. I really appreciate that. Thank you. That's really nice of you and caring. Thank you. You're such a good friend. You know that, don't you? Amazing friend. So yeah, it's I think everything, you know, you've got to just give yourself a pat on the back saying well done for what you've achieved so far. And you know, this is the last thing really I have to I mean, I do have some fears like needles and all that type of stuff. Which I hope to sort of get a bit more progress with that at some point. But you know, I even said to my parents that I would put the insulin in my guinea pig's needle the other day, but that didn't go according to plan because they were too busy trying to tell me what to do that they did it themselves. That's beautiful parents for you. Don't you just love them? Anyway, until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. I will see you on the next video. I'll probably have to do a video before I go out for my date tomorrow because this video I've done is the second one in the same day, so I have to do another one tomorrow. So you'll probably see, you might see me a bit more anxious again tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have calmed down by then and I'll be in a nice, peaceful, tranquil mood. Or I might talk about something else actually, because I had a really good question from an asexual on here who wanted to know the answer to who should make the first move. That's what I can talk about in tomorrow's video. I think that's a very good topic. They say to me, who should make the first move in approaching a person offline, not regardless of dating apps, you know, when you're offline, who should make the first move? And I did briefly answer them, but I want to do a video about that. It's very important. So yeah, let me make a plan to do that video tomorrow, but it will be a lot earlier because I'm meeting this guy at 7:30 in the evening, and I will theoretically not get back to my home to about 2:30, 3:00 in the morning. It'll probably be 2:30 because I think the club's open till 2. So yeah, getting a taxi will be 2:30 by the time I get home. So that won't be till the day after. So I need to do a video for you before I go out. So it'll definitely be before 7:30 GMT. Well, I've got to be at the venue like Nando's we're eating at first at 7:30, so I have to leave my place at 7. So it will be in the daytime sometimes that I do this video, or it could even be in the morning, probably the daytime though, probably the afternoon, but I'll see how things go and I'll definitely have a video. So look out, make sure you've got that bell icon pushed. If you're subscribed, please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you get the bell icon pushed down so you'll get notified when I do go live. And that's what we'll discuss tomorrow. Who should make the first move when you're looking to catch someone's eye, as it were, for a potential date, which might or might not lead to a relationship. That's a good topic for tomorrow to talk to you about. So I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, embrace your quirky and each other's. Thanks for the support. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Andy. And thank you, Heather. See you soon. Take care. Bye.